Have you ever wondered this? You've tried your absolute best, your heart's in the right place, you always want to help others. So why does money still feel like a fleeting breeze? Why do you keep getting stuck in that cycle of scarcity? Meanwhile, so many others seem to effortlessly achieve financial success. Are you being punished by some force? Or is there a deeper message the universe wants to send you? Today I'm going to reveal 7 surprising reasons why God might be holding you back from wealth and abundance. This isn't about punishment, not at all. It's about a grand plan to mold and shape you. And trust me on this, these insights won't just completely change how you see challenges. They'll also open the real path for you to dissolve this scarcity. You'll step into lasting prosperity. Please stay till the very end. What you're about to hear could totally transform your entire financial journey. It could change your life. We're starting right now with the first reason. This one might make you really rethink how you interact with money every single day. 1. God sees you haven't been fully faithful with money yet. I know this might be tough to hear, but sometimes the reason we struggle with finances isn't about bad luck, it's not about missing opportunities, it's because we haven't shown enough faithfulness and clarity. This is in how we earn money. It's also in how we deal with its flow. Faithfulness with money isn't just about managing the cash in your wallet, it's about integrity in every dollar you earn. It means understanding that lasting prosperity needs a foundation. It has to benefit both you and others. It's not about just helping yourself and hurting someone else, or even helping others but hurting yourself in the long run. When we use sneaky tactics, even small ones, to make money, that's when our faithfulness gets shaken. Picture this for a moment. You're not honest in your daily work. Maybe you cut product quality to boost profits. You pay partners late, causing them problems. Or you offer bad services to customers just to get paid. You might get money for a short time, but you're trading something far more precious. That's the kindness and purity God gave you. When that happens, God will take back his blessings, just like he did with Adam and Eve when they lost their original innocence. I remember a time when I faced a tough decision. It was in my own business. I had a chance to join a super profitable project, but it meant bending the rules a little. I'd have to hide some key info from a partner. The immediate profit was huge. It was enough to solve all my financial issues then. I fought with myself a lot. I told myself just this once, or everyone does it. But deep down, I felt uneasy, and I wasn't being honest with myself. In the end, I turned the deal down. The feeling of financial scarcity was still there. It even felt more intense, but I gained peace in my soul. Right after that, another opportunity popped up. It wasn't as big, but it was totally transparent. It was built on trust. It didn't just bring income, it also built lasting relationships and a good reputation. That initial scarcity wasn't a punishment. It was a painful but necessary lesson. It taught me about faithfulness. It taught me about a long-term vision and how I earn money. It forced me to value integrity over quick profits. The world is full of stories about people who built huge fortunes in shady ways, but eventually they lost everything. These are people who made money through tricks, deceit, or exploiting others. Maybe they got rich fast, but their foundation wasn't solid. In the end, financial blessings seemed to be taken back. This often came with other problems, things like ruined reputations, legal issues, or inner unrest. They didn't lack money, they lacked faithfulness in how they created it. They didn't see money as an energy to be guided and used consciously. They just saw it as something to get at any cost. So if you're struggling financially, ask yourself, am I truly faithful with the money I have, no matter how little? More importantly, am I earning money in a clear, fair way? Does it benefit both me and others? This is your moment to reset. It's time to refocus. Get ready to manage future blessings with wisdom and responsibility. Your faithfulness today will open the door. It will lead to lasting abundance tomorrow. 2, you've lost your connection to the source. Beyond being faithful in what we do, there's something else, another reason financial flow gets stuck. It's when we drift away from the divine source. We just focus on external stuff. Have you ever noticed this? When people hit rock bottom, that's often when they turn to prayer. They seek the divine. In hospitals, you often hear more prayers than in churches. Why is that? Because we humans usually only bow our heads when we're in extreme despair. That's when we ask for help from above. In normal life, they rarely show that. They lose their connection with God. And this very disconnection leads to being separated from prosperity and blessings. People today are too far from God. They keep chasing external things. They live with arrogance. They inflate their own self-worth. They believe they can do everything. They think they don't need his help. They want to control everything, but they don't know that the more they try to control, the more they struggle, and the more they suffer. God has a message in the Bible. It's recorded in Amos 4:6-11. I gave you empty stomachs in every city. I gave you lack of bread in every town. Yet you have not returned to me, declares the Lord. I also withheld rain from you. Yet you have not returned to me, declares the Lord. This Bible passage shows something important. Sometimes the hardships, the droughts in our lives, they're not blind punishment. They are signs. They are invitations from God. They are for us to return to our roots, to find that forgotten spiritual connection, to find our own inner strength. Think about the story of the kingdom of Babylon and King Nebuchadnezzar. He built a powerful empire. It had grand structures like the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. This made him believe he held all power. He thought he controlled destiny. The Bible in Daniel 4:30 records his extreme arrogance. Is not this the great Babylon I have built as the royal residence? By my mighty power and for the glory of my majesty. It was this very self-exaltation, this separation from God, this belief that everything came from his own effort. This led him to a time of decline and misery. He lived like a wild animal. This lasted until he realized that the Most High is sovereign over all kingdoms on earth and gives them to anyone he wishes. Daniel 4:32. And what happened because of this arrogance? Just a few decades after he died, the kingdom of Babylon fell. It happened quickly and unexpectedly. In 539 BC, the Persian army led by Cyrus the Great captured Babylon. They met almost no real resistance. This strong city was taken. From a mighty empire, Babylon slowly became a deserted city. It became ruins, just as prophesied. The story of Babylon is a sharp reminder. When we arrogantly believe we can do everything ourselves, when we try to control every financial flow without God's guidance or connection, then our money and everything else can easily fall apart. It's because it wasn't built on a strong, lasting foundation. Similarly, when we focus too much on external life, when we only chase money and material power, we easily ignore our inner voice. We miss God's guidance. We want to control every bit of our cash flow, every aspect of our career, but we forget there's a much bigger flow at work. Arrogance and a lack of connection with God will make your money, your blessings, and everything in your life easily crumble. It's because it's not sustainable. It lacks a foundation from the original energy source. God isn't keeping you in poverty as a punishment. He's creating a space, a gentle push. It's to make you turn inward, to seek comfort and direction from a deeper place, instead of just relying on what the outside world offers. He wants you to understand something vital. The real source of supply isn't the money in your pocket, it's your connection with Him. It's with the infinite energy of creation and abundance. You find that balance between chasing material prosperity and nurturing your soul. You'll see it. Your financial flow also becomes more harmonious. It's because it's anchored to a stronger, more meaningful foundation. 3. God is testing your wisdom about money. Money isn't just a tool for buying things. It's a test of our wisdom. God, or the universe, is testing how you see money. They're testing how you interact with it. Do you see it as your master or as a servant to a higher purpose? So what is financial wisdom? It's the ability to see abundance even when things are scarce. It's recognizing blessings even in tough times. When you face financial hardship, how do you react? Do you resent it? Do you blame your circumstances? Or do you take responsibility? Do you look for the hidden lessons? Wisdom means understanding that everything is a blessing from God, and you are just a channel to spread that blessing. You are not the one creating it all. Jesus once said, "No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money." Matthew 6:24. This doesn't mean money is bad. It means our relationship with money needs to be right. You can't let money control your life. It can't control your purpose. It can't control your values. Sometimes God allows you to go through a period of scarcity. This is so you can develop deeper wisdom about the true value of money, wisdom about how to use it consciously. When you don't have a lot, you're forced to think carefully. You think about every single dollar. You learn to tell the difference between needs and wants. You learn to prioritize. You learn to find real value in life, all without needing luxury. Think about Abraham Lincoln's story. This was before he became president. He went through many financial and business failures early in his life. He even went bankrupt once, but instead of giving up or feeling resentful, he used those experiences. He learned from them. He developed his ability to adapt. His problem-solving skills grew, and he showed incredible resilience. He learned how to manage with very little, how to find value from limited resources, and how to keep believing in himself. It was in those financial struggles that he gained a treasure trove of wisdom about life, wisdom about people. This wisdom later helped him overcome the nation's biggest challenges. He gained wisdom before he received the gold of leadership and great success. When you feel abundant, even in tough times, when you see the blessings God has for you, even when things are rough, and when you take responsibility for your life, that's when you'll overcome the challenges. This is a sign of true wisdom. It's the wisdom God wants you to develop. God wants you to have wisdom before you receive gold, because wisdom is the solid foundation for all lasting blessings. 4. You're in a season of accumulation for bigger plans. If you're struggling financially, take it as a strong sign. It means you're in a season of accumulating energy. You're building your inner strength. This is for much bigger plans the universe has for you. This isn't harvest time. It's a time for sowing seeds, for nurturing, and for building solid foundations. Picture a farmer getting ready for a new crop. They can't just harvest right away. They have to till the soil, they plant the seeds, they water them, and then they wait. During that whole process, they don't see immediate results, but they know these are essential steps. They're necessary for a bountiful harvest. Similarly, you are now developing your roots. Let's look at J.K. Rowling. She's the author of the Harry Potter series. Before she became one of the most successful authors ever, she went through a super tough financial time. She was a single mom on welfare. She wrote her first book in coffee shops. Her baby was asleep beside her. She faced rejection from dozens of publishers. That wasn't a harvest season. It was a huge accumulation season. And so she was very willing to go through that accumulation season. Accumulation of ideas, of persistence, and of faith in her story. Those challenges forced her to refine her work, to develop resilience, and to build a solid vision for her magical world. If success had come easily from the start, would Harry Potter have been written with such depth, with such lasting power? Think about David. He had to herd sheep in the wilderness. This was before he became the great king of Israel. Or Joseph. He went through prison and slavery. This was before he became prime minister of Egypt. Those tough periods weren't wasted time. They were the hardest schools. They were places where their character was sharpened, their resilience grew, and their strategic vision was honed. Don't underestimate the season you're in. It's in these moments of financial stress that your resilience is growing. Your faith in the universe's flow is being tested, and your understanding of energy is being sharpened. Romans 5:3-4 says, "We rejoice in our sufferings because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope." This is your season of growth. It's your season for strengthening your inner power. It's your season to become the person the universe needs you to be. This happens before He releases all the blessings in your life. Embrace this phase, because it's getting you ready for something bigger, something far grander than you can even imagine right now. 5. God wants to protect you from money dependence. This might sound backward, but sometimes not having a lot of money is actually a form of loving protection from the universe. It's keeping you safe. It shields you from the dangerous traps of relying completely on money, and from all that it seems to bring. Money is a powerful tool, but it can also become a cruel master. That happens if we let it control us. When we depend too much on money for happiness, for security, and for our self-worth, we become vulnerable. We lose our self-confidence, we lose our inner peace, we lose our connection to things that aren't material. Consider the stories of young pro athletes. Think about major American leagues like the NFL or NBA. Many sign multi-million-dollar contracts right after college. They often lack experience managing money. They don't have the maturity needed for huge wealth. Some use money wisely to build their future, but many end up broke just a few years later. This is due to wild spending, bad investments, or being taken advantage of. One study found that about 78% of NFL players go broke or face serious money problems just 2 years after retiring. They depended on money for their identity, their security, and their purpose. When that money flow stopped, they lost their way. The universe knows the temptations that wealth can bring. It knows it can draw even the strongest souls into arrogance, into greed, into losing focus on what's truly important, soul growth and life purpose. In its compassion, the universe might choose to hold back financial abundance. This happens until your soul is strong enough to carry its weight, strong enough not to be corrupted. It's like a father. He wouldn't give a sharp knife to a child, not if the child doesn't understand how dangerous it is. Similarly, the universe won't give you a massive flow of money, not if he knows it could harm you or lead you astray. It's protecting you. It's keeping you from making money your god. This happens before you master your own soul and your own values. This season of scarcity isn't punishment. It's a divine protective barrier. It helps you learn to find security, value, and happiness from within, from your connection to the source, not from the numbers in your bank account. When you learn this lesson, when you become spiritually and emotionally independent from relying on money, that's when you are truly ready to welcome abundance without letting it control you. 6. God wants you to live for a higher purpose than just money, doubt service. Finally, and maybe most importantly, financial difficulties are a way for God or the universe to test you. They're testing you to live for a purpose higher than just money. And that's service. And listen closely, this isn't a permanent state, but it is a necessary one. The universe might have called you to a job or a ministry or a mission that doesn't bring immediate financial benefits. It's like the Bible's advice, but seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Matthew 6:33. This doesn't mean you have to live in poverty. It means your priority must be on serving. It must be on fulfilling a high purpose, not just on money. Your purpose might involve community work, or helping those less fortunate, or spreading spiritual knowledge, or some form of contribution. Its rewards are eternal in value and meaning, but not necessarily immediate financially. The universe has put you in this season of financial limits. This is to make sure your motives are pure, that your heart is focused on serving and creating value, not just on accumulating wealth. In this context, tithing is a powerful way to show service. It's also about trusting God's abundant flow. Tithing isn't just an obligation or an expense. It's an act of spiritual priority and gratitude. Even when you're in tight circumstances, it shows you believe the true supply comes from God. And when you give away a small part, you're opening the door for greater abundance. Your willingness to give, even when you feel you don't have enough, that proves your absolute trust in God. It proves you put him above money. Look at John D. Rockefeller's story. He was one of the richest people in U.S. history. He founded Standard Oil. He was a famous tycoon with bold business deals. But something less known is that Rockefeller practiced tithing 10% of his income. He did this even as a boy with a small salary. Even when he became a billionaire, he kept this habit. He was a huge philanthropist. He gave millions of dollars to education, health, and science. He once said, "I don't think there's any other way to get rich than by tithing." His wisdom wasn't just in business. It was in realizing money as a tool to serve a bigger purpose. And tithing was how he showed deep faith and gratitude. This act of service, through giving, helped him build a lasting financial legacy and a meaningful life. This isn't a punishment. This is a lesson in absolute trust. The universe wants to know something. Will you stay faithful to him, to his purpose, and to yourself? Even when the path ahead is darkest, it wants you to develop a faith that can move mountains, a trust that won't shake when storms hit, and a reliance on him that goes beyond all material things. This is what living by faith is all about, and it's central to your life. The financial scarcity you're feeling, it might be the very tool the universe is using to refine your focus, to make sure you're chasing his higher will, not just wealth. This season is a refining fire for your character and for your purpose. It's designed to test you, to see if you'll stay committed to your calling, even if it doesn't come with a paycheck. It's easy to commit when everything's provided, but can you still commit when resources are scarce? The universe wants to know if you'll still say, "Yes, I'm ready to serve." Even when your bank account is low, will you still pursue your purpose, even when financial rewards are delayed? He's using this time to make sure your heart is focused on creating value, on spreading light, not just on worldly success. And when you pass this test, when your motives are pure and your faith is strong, blessings will flow in ways you'd never imagine. 7. God wants to test your true loyalty and faith. Finally, and perhaps most crucially, financial difficulties are a way God, or the universe, tests your true loyalty and faith. It's easy to say you have faith. That's when everything's going smoothly, when your wallet is full, and when all your plans are perfect. But will you still hold on to that faith when you face scarcity, when bills pile up, and when the future looks uncertain? Think about Abraham and Joseph. These are great figures in the Bible. Abraham was promised by God to have countless descendants, like the stars in the sky. But he and his wife were old. They had no children. Then, when he finally had his only son, Isaac, God tested his faith. He asked Abraham to offer his son as a sacrifice. That was an ultimate test, a financial decision that seemed insane. But Abraham was completely steadfast, trusted God 100%. He let go of all control. He committed his only son to God with absolute faith. And what was the outcome? God intervened. Isaac was saved. Abraham was blessed abundantly. He became the father of the Jewish nation, a nation forever blessed and glorious by God. Similarly, Joseph faced a string of tragedies. He was sold into slavery by his own brothers. He was falsely accused. He was imprisoned in a foreign land for years. Joseph had no money, no power, nothing except absolute faith in God and his principles. He didn't complain. He didn't lose hope. He stayed faithful to God in every situation. He let go of trying to control his circumstances. He trusted that God always had a bigger plan, and that perseverance helped him overcome every hardship. In the end, God elevated him. He became Prime Minister of Egypt. He used his power and wisdom to save his entire nation and his family during a famine. The stories of Abraham and Joseph are powerful proof. They show one clear truth. In everything, give thanks to God and trust Him 100%. Commit everything to Him with absolute faith. God always has a plan for each of us, a plan far greater than what we can control ourselves. And when you let go of control, when you're ready to follow faith's call, when you trust Him completely, you will have everything. Just like Abraham, like Joseph, or even like Jesus Christ Himself trusted His Father. This isn't a punishment. This is a lesson in absolute trust. The universe wants to know, will you stay loyal to Him, to His purpose, to yourself, even when the path ahead is darkest? It wants you to grow a faith that can move mountains, a trust that won't waver when storms come, and a reliance on Him that goes beyond all material possessions. This is what living by faith truly means, and it's at the very core of your life. My friend, as we look back at what we've discovered together, it's clear. Financial struggles aren't punishment. They're not an end. Instead, they're part of God's incredible plan to refine you. These challenges are an invitation. They're asking you to develop faithfulness in how you earn and manage money, to reconnect with the divine source instead of just chasing the outside world. They sharpen your wisdom in how you see money, and they prepare you for a stronger season of accumulation. This is also how God protects you from blindly depending on money. It urges you to live for a higher purpose of service, and ultimately it tests your true loyalty and faith. Each financial struggle is a chance for you to be purified, for your faith to become purer than gold. When you learn to let go of control, when you commit everything to God, when you trust absolutely in His perfect plan, you'll open the door to lasting abundance, not just in money, but in profound meaning and deep impact on your life. You are being prepared to receive greater blessings, prepared to become a channel that brings value to the world. Stay steadfast, be grateful, and trust this journey completely, because God always has a grand and perfect plan for you. If these words touched you, if they gave you a new perspective on life, please don't hesitate. Like this video, share it with anyone who needs to hear this message, and most importantly, subscribe to my channel. Don't miss out on more valuable content coming soon. Thank you for watching and listening. God bless you and your family.